We're live with SQW, Thunder and Lightning. Episode 26 of Sidequesting Wrestling. We are the great triple threat tag match. No, we are SQW. We're all three of us are back again. Yay! After a few great shows that I missed out on, unfortunately. Great stuff, JJ, with the Undertaker. Last week. That was actually really interesting. When you guys got into the Shawn Michaels, the HBK feud, it was actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
If you haven't listened to it yet, please go back and listen to it. It's really worth it. It's a good thing, and keep doing those because I think that's a cool kind of second series to this podcast. So it's good.
Probably about 2 more episodes of the Undertaker one going, and I've got a couple of ideas for what to focus on historically next.
Sweet. Lots of cool stuff. We have lots to talk. We don't have a ton to talk about. It's kind of we were just saying it's kind of a weird slow time in wrestling, but
it's a WrestleMania hangover.
Yeah, exactly. It's a WrestleMania hangover.
A few months until you have to pick into the SummerSlam hype. So it's
Yep. But we can start with a little bit of the results from WWE Payback. Payback. Well, first of all, we got to introduce ourselves. I'm Dolly Rainbow Goldfish Demovsky, and I get that name because goldfish crackers are for children, but they taste really good. And so I've been eating. My daughter has the rainbow-colored goldfish crackers. So
salty.
They're so salty, but the sodium is beautiful.
They don't go stale either.
Yeah, they don't.
John, new glasses, Kehoe.
Maybe that's why you look
new glasses in quite a while. The folks that watching the YouTube can watch me model them a little bit.
Beautiful. I can't wear glasses on podcasts because the light is right there and it always reflects. So
I have to wear them because I can't see a thing.
Good man. That's why we were talking before the podcast that you're like, well, am I bigger on the screen? What's going on here?
It's weird, yeah.
Well, that's what it is. It's the glasses. And JJ, still SQW champ, 2 dogs holder. I couldn't think of anything. Oh, is he frozen?
Oh, he may have been hit by lightning.
He may have been. We may have lost JJ to lightning.
Yeah, his picture in the corner is totally still.
That's his picture, right there. Yep. He said he got booted because of power surge. Brilliant. Yeah. JJ power surge. Well, we'll get into we'll get into the episode here. We are off to a fantastic start, which is that's totally fine. We'll get into Payback. Did you guys do predictions before Payback?
We did not.
Okay.
I think I threw a few up on the Twitters, but that doesn't really. That's non-sanctioned.
The non-sanctioned
SQW title contention, but it wasn't a bad show. The first half up until the Bray match, I thought everyone was kind of had their working boots on, working hard in every match. Some of them, like I thought the Jericho Owens match was kind of the match that I wish we had gotten at Mania, which kind of felt a little underwhelming. Where this one felt a little more personal, a little more vicious, which is kind of what you want from a blood feud. Did you watch the show?
I caught bits and pieces of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
the whole thing. Yeah, but
it was pretty good. The last couple matches, but
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know how memorable the pay-per-view was, but it was well worked. Certainly the top of the card, or the bottom of the card.
The bottom of the card. So that's the impression I got from what people were saying on Twitter is that things were turning out better than maybe they had hoped for like one of the first big pay-per-views after WrestleMania. That it was surprisingly, especially like you said, that last half of the card was better coordinated, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, this is it definitely helped from a low expectation going in.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Like,
if you can.
it's funny how that happens with some shows, because like, you can go into a pay-per-view and think it's going to be diarrhea dog shit, and it turns out to be like, third or fourth best show of the year. So
The bar was so low you could step over it. That's
yeah,
basically what I was hearing, and then all of a sudden people were like, "Wow, it was actually not too
it
bad.
was okay. Yeah, it was
It
pretty
was
good.
watchable."
Yeah, I mean the women's match was good. Alexa Bliss won
Mhm.
the Raw Women's Championship from Bayley. That was a surprising one because, excuse me, I didn't think Bayley was going to lose it that quick.
Mhm.
Maybe I shouldn't be so surprised because the WrestleMania win was kind of underwhelming. Like we talked about that. Like it felt like there should have been a bigger payoff to some story where
Sure.
she overcame or beat Charlotte for the first time, but it didn't. That's not how really it played out. So, because I mean, I was surprised, but then again, Alexa is really good, like super good at the promos and the heel work, and her ring work has gotten a lot better than even from NXT, where she was fine, but now she's like, you can see that she's getting
Yeah.
up, bringing it up to the next level, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So this is just to backtrack a little bit. This was a Raw branded. There were a couple,
Raw down.
Raw, exactly, Raw down. And that's exactly it. It was Raw down because there was definitely some SmackDown implications coming out of this. Especially when you look at the Jericho Owens match, and you had Randy Orton, Bray Wyatt, that House of Horrors match.
I want to save that from when JJ comes back on.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, we'll definitely hit that, but
yes.
But we're talking about the more standard matches, I guess. Other than that,
okay.
Right. Did you catch what happened with the Hardy Boys and Cesaro and Sheamus?
I a little bit. I think that's where my viewing started. But the Hardy Boys already have the championship.
yeah, they won the match.
Hey, he's back. We've nicknamed you JJ Power Surge Holder.
Yeah, Surge of Power.
There's a thunderstorm going on outside, and there's just a quick hit knocked me completely power out for a split second, man.
So if JJ disappears again, we fully expect him to have become some superhero.
Yeah, or it's the
or reanimated.
I'll return and I'll fight myself at the next podcast.
Well, I think, Dally, what we should do is we should jump back to Bray and Orton and Payback, just in case JJ's gone again.
Yeah.
So JJ, what did you think of Bray and Orton?
I loved how absurd that whole thing was. every ounce of it was bad, but I'm not upset that they did it. To see what WWE's idea of what the whole broken Matt Hardy universe idea is, that's all that was. They fought in a house in the middle of Missouri. It was nighttime, but 6 o'clock on where they were wrestling at.
Yeah.
It's just thematically, it was just terrible. It was filmed bad. It looked bad. It had a soundtrack.
It had a soundtrack, yeah.
It blew me away, but
it was, and you had that awkward. You have this battle at the house, and then you have to wait for them to get to the arena.
Yeah,
it's okay. Well, that was a fun first half of that match.
Yeah, or they pin Randy Orton underneath a refrigerator. That was good.
Yes.
So the implication there is that Randy may also have superpowers, I guess, because he didn't have a car, but he would have beaten Bray to the arena at this point. Was he hanging on underneath the limousine? Was he the driver of the limousine? That would have been a much better reveal.
I was really waiting for that. I was waiting for that "Where to, Stephanie" moment,
Yeah, exactly.
What? Yeah, that was an absurd idea for a match.
It was so funny when I realized what they were like, because nobody knew what that match was going into it. I think everyone just sort of assumed it was going to be a cage match of some sort with the Asylum, the Ambrose Asylum or something with a gimmick weapons or something. But when you see him pull up in a limousine, you're like, oh, that's what they're like when they had the New Day fight them at the compound.
Yeah, it's literally a house of horrors. It's not. That's not
literally
in no way figurative.
It was the house from Resident Evil 7 that they decided.
Basically, yeah.
For what it's worth, that house is actually for sale for $36,000. Brilliant.
No, I thought it was just. I couldn't even appreciate it on the level of it being bad intentionally, or I can look at it and go, what were they thinking kind of way, but
it was a night and day comparison of what WWE thinks that Matt Hardy does compared to what Matt Hardy does. Like
the final deletion.
They took it seriously, and there was no self-awareness in it, and there needed to be self-awaerness.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when he looked at the house and the lights changed from red to blue, I think that was meant to be for a laugh, for how anticlimactic that was as a moment. But it just is like, has the house gone to Raw now from SmackDown, or what's happened here?
It's just funny how Bray gets to the ring and then Randy was there the whole time behind him.
Yeah.
How quick was that? Yeah.
Yeah. It was all so bad, but it's going to be one of those things where, like, in the future, when, like, you look back on, like, the WWE Network does, like, their top 10 crappiest angles and, like, or whatever, and it's like, here's the Beach Blast, WCW's Beach Blast, and the Yeti. And
the triple stacked cage match or whatever it was.
Yeah, that stacked
But I mean, for how bad the match itself was, and I'm happy that I guess I'm happy that Bray won, but he won. He only won because Jinder and the Bollywood boys helped him.
Yeah.
It's just it doesn't do any. It still doesn't do anything for him.
Yeah, it didn't make Bray look strong. It didn't give him any sort of momentum.
No.
Yeah. And that's the story of Bray. Kill his momentum every time he gets a pay-per-view match, and
yeah, and now he's going to feud with Finn Balor. I'm sure he'll win that one. I mean, come on, he's not going. He's going nowhere. It's unbelievable.
They're gonna go, and they're gonna overkill it with the whole Bray Wyatt and the Demon Finn kind of stuff. They're gonna go one step too far with it and just
yeah.
But there were other matches beyond that. There were apparently other matches, but I did find that it was wonderful that the Deadspin article showed the time that it would take to get from the house to the ring. It was like 45 minutes because the house was in Missouri, so 45 minutes from Kansas City, or 28 hours via limousine to San Jose, where the arena was. Brilliant. Anyways, we talked a little about Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens. You missed out on that, JJ, but I think we came to the conclusion this was what we would what we would have wanted to see out of WrestleMania.
Yeah, I was shocked by the finish that Jericho actually won, but then
it was kind of a pleasant, like, oh, okay,
yeah,
what that means, and then you come to Tuesday and. Oh, that's what that meant.
Yeah. So that U.S. Championship goes with him to SmackDown?
It did, yes.
It did. Did you miss Tuesday? Did you catch Tuesday?
I did not catch Tuesday, no.
Okay, well, Jericho's gone.
He's gonzo, yeah.
It was a cool moment that they didn't put on TV, that it was like the WWE.com where they had Kevin Owens, like, with his bare hand rip off the Chris Jericho nameplate and throw it on the ground.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Owens got his belt back, and all is right with the world again. And but it was a way to keep you watching, and imagine that the episodic nature of wrestling kind of held true for which is fine.
You went with storytelling for more than just 2 consecutive shows. You actually had something go on that was connected to a previous show, so that was nice.
What about Seth Rollins versus Samoa Joe? What'd you guys think of that match?
It should have been way better than it was. I mean, we know what both of those guys are capable of, and it just wasn't.
This was Joe's first
second.
Pay-per-view.
Second.
Yeah, he beat Sami Zayn. He fought Sami Zayn on the pay-per-view that he should have fought Seth, because that would have been the lead up to Mania. Like, he had to get through Joe to get to Triple H, but then he got hurt. So this is the match that should have happened in February, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. That's how things start to fall into place. Okay, cool.
And then, so basically, the build hasn't been so great because the climax is already passed. So what do you have to cling to? What's the motivation? I think they kind of lost a step in the match because of that.
Well, it sucks too, because it was just like, okay, Seth beat Triple H, and now Triple H is just gone. Like, there's no resolution to any of it other than he's wrestling Samoa Joe now. Like, you have to assume that Samoa Joe is taking orders from Hunter, but Hunter's not there to actually give orders. So
yeah, like, so it's basically Seth saying, "Well, I'm gonna go. I've had my meal. I'm gonna mop up my crumbs." And for us as the fans, we're like, "Yay, babyface for that." I don't know.
As a white meat babyface is like bad. Like, his promos.
Yeah, it's not great.
His promos all feel like early '90s Sting promos, where they're just overly optimistic and like happiness and stuff. Like, they just haven't been great. Like, he doesn't have an edge to him like you would kind of expect from Seth Rollins, really. Like, they're not. He needs to have something other than just like, "Hey guys, how's it going?"
I hate you. I'll fight you. Yep.
Oh. So.
Yeah. So, but the thing with Seth is also, I mean, he's also got to in terms of how he builds a story with Joe.
Yeah.
It has to kind of run parallel with how Roman is dealing with Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
So, like, Braun is killing the crap out of Roman.
Yeah.
Like, is it really going to be impactful if Joe is killing the crap out of Seth at the same?
Yeah.
One segment away.
Yeah, and just like, destroying Seth, but in a less grandiose fashion than Braun's destroying his opponent. Like,
exactly.
It's just Joe being a strong, bad guy. Like, it's just him just beating him up, not doing the crazy things that Strowman's been doing. Yeah, so it just kind of comes across as, just makes him look weaker in the overall scheme of things. So
and conversely, you don't want to have that take away from the Stroman Roman stuff.
Yeah,
by diluting that at all, because that's their top program without Brock around to defend the belt. So they really have to put all the emphasis on that guy.
Yeah, but it just feels like we're in a holding pattern right now. That's sort of like, all these feuds kind of feel like they're, with the exception of Strowman and Roman, it just, every feud that they have going on, especially on the Raw side, just feels like, well, we got to wait for things to settle in, and we'll get back to it when we can. Like, everything's just sort of killing some time until something better comes along.
And the shakeup
has different cast to work with. So
true, and the shakeup didn't really. I mean, the shakeup hasn't helped very much in that it adds an element of confusion to what everybody's supposed to be doing. The whatever direction there could have been is now like, like a game of Yahtzee. Now it's
because both the New Day and the Revival got injured with and they were setting up a thing with them, but now they're gonna, when they return, they're on opposite brands, because the Revival didn't make this jump to Raw or SmackDown. They're staying on Raw, and the New Day's on SmackDown. So you had this whole thing that's gonna go nowhere for a year. I don't know when they'll.
However long.
Yeah.
Whatever they decide.
Yeah. So who knows? Like that's sort of like, but I kind of glad that the Revival isn't, because I don't think that style, like having that be their first major program on Raw with the New Day, doesn't really sound like that's the way to go out the gate for them. Establish them with a more similar to their style tag team, a little less. It's the best big feud.
That's right.
Eventually you get the Revival going against the happy, dancing, jovial, flippy guys, but just have that be a feud right out the gate. Doesn't build up anything. You have to establish the Revival as the no flips, only punches guys before you have them go against the Hardys or New Day. You know what I mean? So
yeah, it definitely, but it has to be against somebody who works the style, is able to have a very competitive match with them. So, but they have to be heel, and the Revival have to stay heel.
Yeah.
So,
it's like,
how many babyface teams are there really?
Yeah, it's like the Club is about the closest in style to them, but they can't have heel versus heel.
No. Yeah. So did you like the turn of Sheamus and Cesaro? Like
that was a well done turn. It played out really perfect for them. Like,
yeah, I didn't have much trouble with that.
I liked how they gave them their moment. Like, it was a handshake, wander off, and then just immediately back to it. Like, it seemed like it just seemed like it was your traditional wrestling. Like, here's your respect, and I'll leave the ring. But then out of nowhere, tips him off the top rope. It was well framed too. Like, good production of that turn happening. Like, all of a sudden you see Matt take a tumble, and then you realize, oh, okay,
now it's on. Yeah. I have no problem with I almost said Cesaro for really. Sheamus and Cesaro actually, not like the whole will they break up thing is gone. Now they're working together. I mean, they can be a real good dominant tag team.
Cesaro plays the role of the arrogant jerk heel very well. So
he does. Yeah.
It's nice to have him back in that role again. So
yeah, I want him to come back sort of toward the way he was in the Real Americans.
Yeah.
Like, or in that period he was in that tag team and also on NXT, like just like the shooter guy. Not the shooter guy, but like confident. I will reverse any finisher you try on me with this pure power, and forget you.
They've slowly pulled focus away from the fact that he's actually a very strong guy. Like, that used to be the crux of his thing. Like, he could power out of almost anything that you put him in, and just sort of. So yeah, he needs to bring back the leg things that he used to wear, like
the thigh bands.
The thigh bands.
Those thigh bands. I remember.
That needs to be. That's just part of being a heel, is he brings those back. No knee pads, thigh bands.
Yeah. So I guess the real question is this the feud and the turn that actually is the catalyst for Broken Matt, or is Matt going to be broken some other way? Like,
I don't know. The way they pulled it off on Monday was like, like, there was no subtlety to that at all. Like,
no.
Like everyone knew what they were going for. Like, that was him doing Broken Matt Hardy, like, at the very last second there. But it feels like, to reuse what I said earlier, they're in a holding pattern. Like, WWE's probably trying to figure something out now to go with it, because there's still a lot going on with all that broken stuff. So
yeah,
but it's
legally right. There's a lot legally going on with them.
Yeah, so it seems like they want to, and that's a big motivator for the WWE. They can't help but see the money in it, even if it's not their creation kind of situation. You have to be able to see the money in it, and that can go a long way, even if it's for 6 months. Like, use it. You've got it. It was the hottest thing in wrestling leading up to, like, if it wasn't the WrestleMania, people were talking about Broken Matt. Like, that was a big deal. Like,
that's right.
So cash in on it if you can. Like, why not? Other than just WWE being stubborn, like they like to be sometimes.
Yeah.
Very good. What did you guys talk about the Stroman Reigns?
Roman
Reigns.
Briefly
he came up in our discussion about Samoa Joe and Seth Rollins.
Right. Okay. This match, I saw. It was funny because I saw a lot of people actually like very happy on Twitter that Roman Reigns finally got something coming to him. But
then the fans started cheering that.
Yeah, they started cheering, which is
the channel, you deserve it.
Yeah.
It was weird to have WWE use blood as the storyline intended.
Yeah.
Like, he was slipped a blood pill to have the internal bleeding, which was like, like it wasn't faked blood. It wasn't like, oh, he cut himself against, you know, it was WWE intentionally had him have internal bleeding, and like that was surprising. I wasn't expecting that part. I just thought it was going to be implied internal bleeding, but no, blood.
No.
And on like the aftermath stuff, they actually had Roman staggering in the back of the arena, and he coughed blood up onto the wall.
Onto the big white wall, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
And then you had Stroman do the Wario shoulder smash through a ambulance door.
The Wario shoulder smash. Nice to describe.
Right through the ambulance door.
Yeah.
Whoa! Hey there, dog.
He liked the shoulder smash. Apparently, he agrees.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought the match worked. You know, for what it was. It was good. I mean, I wouldn't call it a Matt Classic, but it was, or the best brawl of all time. But it was a good pace.
It was a story match, and it told its story. Like it did exactly what it was supposed to do.
Did the job it was supposed to do. Yeah.
They've done. I'd have to say they've done a good job of working up Stroman over the last several months.
It's a rare occasion where they haven't really dropped the ball on building this guy that they're trying to build. Like, they haven't screwed it up yet. So there's a couple of potential options to screw it up in the last couple of weeks, but you know, they could have really screwed up all of the hard work that they did on Sunday, but they didn't. Like having to blow off to that feud B on Sunday would have been a bad idea. Like have Roman get his get his revenge would have been a bad idea at that time. You can really drag this on a little more, and clearly that's the plan. Like I don't know what their deal is with Roman right now, but it looks like they're doing everything they can to keep him off of TV.
Yeah, I think maybe they're thinking that, you know, the heart grows fonder the longer he's away, or
it feels that way. Like if he's gone, when he comes back, it'll be a bigger reaction. Like
I don't know. I mean, if it's trying to figure out a way to give this guy some sympathy, or if he has real life things with his family he's dealing with at the moment, because that stuff is still fresh, you know, with his brother. So so maybe that's a consideration. But I mean, it's working to build Braun up big time.
Yeah. It's working perfect for Braun right now. Like, but like I said, they're planning on having Braun's next feud to be Brock. So I wouldn't be surprised if that would be the SummerSlam match, or the Great Balls of Fire match. The Great Balls of Fire match.
The Great Balls of Fire.
Oh, nice segue.
Great segue.
Yeah.
But is Extreme Rules net? Is like, are they doing that pay-per-view again? Do we know if they're doing Extreme Rules?
The next pay-per-view is Backlash with SmackDown.
That's SmackDown. So,
and then Great Balls is after that, I think. Oh, I can't believe I'm saying that.
But Great Balls are in.
That's an excellent name for it, actually.
Yeah.
Great
We're just
Balls.
gonna call it Great Balls. That's just the name of the show.
Great Balls.
Because I feel like
Extreme Rules is June 4th, by the way.
Don't search Great Balls on your pay-per-view.
Yeah, do not, whatever you do, make sure safe search is on.
So I was thinking that they might be going
We've
for,
killed John.
Sorry.
I feel like they're leading towards an ambulance match between Braun and Roman. Like that's the end game there. And it feels like Extreme Rules is like that would be when you would do it. Like so I don't know. Not Great Balls though. That's
not Great Balls. Well, the pay-per-views come in full force over the next few weeks here, because Backlash is next on the 21st, and you have Extreme Rules on the 4th, and Money in the Bank on the 18th. Great Balls of Fire on July 9th. Every time I say that, oh god. Battleground on the 23rd, I
want to know, like, the gimmick idea behind it. Like, why call it that? What's the point in calling it that?
Yeah.
Like,
oh, God.
I mean, it to me, it sounds like it's the perfect encapsulation of how far in the past, how behind the times Vince McMahon is.
It is 100% Vince McMahon.
Oh my God!
We gotta call this Great Balls of Fire.
Listen, pal, I heard a great song last night. It's called Great Balls of Fire. We can license it for the pay-per-view, god damn it.
Hey kids, have you
And
heard
that would
of
be
the
the best
internet?
if we go through the whole thing and that's not even the theme song for the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh my god, right?
No, they need to get some terrible band to cover that song. They need to find a great Limp Bizkit covers Great Balls of Fire.
Oh god. Oh, Limp Bizkit, Great Balls of Fire.
Remember, according to WrestleMania 19, Limp Bizkit's the WWE's favorite band in the entire world. So
that. Oh yeah. Yep.
Nickelback performs Great Balls of Fire live at the pay-per-view.
Nickelback. Oh Lord, it is the worst name. It's the worst name, but it's the best name because it's the most wrestling name. Like the only thing that could have been more wrestling is if they called it like Extremely Great Balls of Fire, or great extreme balls of fire.
Yeah. Vince McMahon, great fruits of fire.
Great, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What did he used to say? Great testicular fortitude of fire.
Yeah, it's so Vince. I was listening to a podcast, and Andrew Goldstein, I think, was a guest, and he was talking about how he met Vince and talked about like writing and comedy and stuff, and he had never heard like any of these modern stand-up comedians at all, and like he was still lifting jokes from Jackie Gleason and like really old stuff, and again, this just echoes that.
Yeah, it's all the same like thing where you hear like Vince McMahon didn't know that Razor Ramon was Tony Montana because he had never seen Scarface, or at the time the movie was already like 18 years old.
Oh God, yeah.
More like 10 years old, but
because it's just in that bubble, that WWE bubble, and it's just crazy to me that they thought that was like someone who refuses to say no, let that go. Like
that was just
I love it.
That's just right.
That's yes, sir. We'll make the promo for it now, sir.
Can we get Mean Gene on this one? Oh goodness!
Stand back. Let's call it pay-per-view. Stand back, guys.
Let's call it Stand Back.
Yeah.
Surprised he hasn't bought the XFL back yet, but
Did you ever hear the Vince McMahon story about the burrito?
No. What? Explain.
So a writer was talking about it, and they were going to have the Big Show get food poisoning from a burrito, and so it's like we're going to spike the burrito, and you can like cut to like vignettes of him eating it, and Vince's response is, a burrito? Who the hell knows what a burrito is? and everyone's like, and he says, do you know, he asks everyone like, do you know what a burrito is? And everyone's like, yeah, we know what a burrito is. And it's just like, it's like, well, where have I been during all this? But the best part of that was, apparently Vince that was his lunch like all the time was a burrito. So
what?
like every time at noon his secretary would bring him a burrito, like a steak burrito, and he would eat it with ketchup, was apparently his story. So that's it's just what you hear. Like Vince McMahon just is so out of touch, and you hear like a story like that where if you heard that from about anyone else, you'd be like, that's just somebody taking the piss. You know what I mean? Like, but when it's Vince McMahon, you're like,
yeah, I can believe that. Yep,
I believe that about Vince McMahon.
Yep. Oh goodness. Well, the last little bit of news that we have is Billy Corgan.
Oh boy, he's just not going to give up, is he?
He is not giving up on owning some wrestling company.
Yeah, he wants it bad.
Yeah, John, can you tell us a little about this?
Well, it was announced just the other day that Billy Corgan has purchased. Well, at the time, the way I read it was he has purchased the NWA, which the National Wrestling Alliance, which is the name of the long-lauded wrestling alliance, federation, call it what you will, promotion in the 80s, which then morphed into WCW in one branch, and then it still exists. I know as some like a small
because
thing,
I mean the NWA existed as a group of promoters together.
Yes.
So it was like the NWA was the umbrella, but WCW was its own sort of thing that operated under the NWA thing, and that's why you have the NWA. Think about, I mean, everybody used the NWA to make their way ahead. Like ECW used
was
the
NWA.
WCW used the NWA. Impact used the NWA when they were brand new. Like everyone just uses the NWA to like build their brand up till they can make enough money and make enough name for themselves, and then take off, break apart from it, and do their own thing. So that's sort of what the NWA's lot in life is since the 90s. So by buying the NWA, you aren't buying it for the wrestling promotion that exists now.
No,
because like it's kind of nothing. Like Rob Conway is now 2-time NWA champion kind of situation. So it's like you're buying a tape library, and you're buying a name, like something that you can.
Although he did not purchase the old matches.
Yeah, I think
right.
Like part of it, like he gets like a particular region of the NWA with it. Like it just comes.
Yeah.
Right. It's like some specific. Yeah.
Well, you might see him owning some of the more modern day footage.
Yeah.
But I mean, the stuff that like old Starcades and stuff, those are those are WCW stuff owned by WWF or E. Well, I'm going with the F all the time now. But it's on a network, and they call it WCW. They don't say NWA.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Crockett Promotions, nothing like that. I mean, it's just
because
WCW.
they also have like the weird Saturday night stuff that is the NWA stuff that WCW did under the WCW Classics banner kind of situation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting when you go to the NWA On Demand's website. It is a very early 1980s style design.
Oh, it definitely is.
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty funny. I never even knew that they had an On Demand, a video library thing up until recently.
I'm gonna have a look at this.
Yeah, the library thing is actually brand new.
Yeah, I can imagine. Okay.
But yeah, it's super interesting to look at that. It's like, I don't know if I want to pay for it. But
yeah, considering one of the category, here are some of the category names, right? They have world title matches, 1970s, which is just, that's the name of it. Caution Blood, that's one. And then there's Ladies Midgets Mixed Tag.
That was, boy howdy, was that a genre. And
that was a genre. Oh, God almighty. This is NWA was, this is 80s wrestling like to it, 70s and 80s wrestling to a T.
Boy, it's something else. But, owning that title will go a long way for Billy Corgan, I think. Like, that's sort of the money that he's paying is mostly for that title belt at this point. Like,
yeah. What you said about as a launching pad into whatever it is. His actual promotion, that does make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And by owning it, he gets complete control of that transition in whatever way he wants to do it.
Yeah. So he can just start an organization and have it under the NWA umbrella.
Umbrella as such. It doesn't really exist. Yeah.
Right. I'm really curious to see what he does with it.
To get your name out there.
It's almost like he's doing this to spite TNA Impact.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure whatever the settlement he got from the whole situation, like, I'm sure that's the capital that he needs. Like how Jeff Jarrett used his capital that he made from his last match that he extorted all that money from with the WWF. He used that money for TNA and down the road. Like,
oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. But yeah.
I'm just looking at the history of the NWA right now.
It's an extensive history. Like, it's hard to.
It is.
You try to, because that was, when I tried to do the history stuff, and you look at stuff, like, man, there's no way you could ever do an NWA thing because there's just too much. There's.
Well, I mean,
and there's too many like you have to go like territories at that point. Like,
Exactly.
Because like NWA as a whole was just it wasn't a company. Like it was just a bunch of promoters that were working together. Like
well, you think about how the way that the like Ric Flair and Harley Race and Dory Funk, they would like the NWA champion would travel from promotion to promotion, working matches against the top guy in each promotion.
You weren't making the money you used to be making in the South, so you moved to the Midwest area promotions under the NWA umbrella, and you're creating a new heat there. You do it until you stop making money there, then you can go back to where you came from if you wanted to, and your heat is hot again down there.
Yep,
and that's what you would do.
And the way that things were televised and promoted, like. And unlike today, everyone's aware of what's happening all over the country. But like you could take your heel against the babyface champ. He loses. He loses his heat. He moves over to this other side of the country. He can build up on a whole new audience, a whole new identity, whatever he wants, and no one knows.
The people in the Pacific Northwest region weren't seeing the stuff from the Southern
territory.
Right? Like it just was. There was no cross mingling like at all with that stuff. So. It's that those days are gone. Like I can watch what happened in the UK tonight if I felt like it.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. The only thing we might miss out on is like if there's wrestling in Middle East or some of the third world countries. I mean there is stuff out there, but it's very minimal. But we don't hear anything about it. Social media and networking isn't that big. But those days are long gone. You can never go back to region wrestling.
No,
like, it's just impossible. Like
you can do very small, like it has to be something completely different, like a completely different genre of wrestling, like backyard or
like you go to like San
underground
Francisco and they have like Hood Slam and things like that. So California has its own sort of like economy when it comes to wrestling. Like there's SoCal wrestling like of Hollywood and stuff and all this stuff. So California has its own like little region set up over there. Like it's about as close to territory wrestling as you can get these days.
That's true.
Yeah.
California is its own country basically.
Yeah, basically.
Kind of makes up its own rules. Yeah. Excellent stuff.
I know you guys saw it because I watched WrestleMania 17 before Payback, which didn't help my viewing of Payback at all in any way, shape, or form. And I was like, well, I need to watch a bad pay-per-view next. like something actually worse than Payback to sort of. So I watched. I watched World War III.
Oh man!
And so this was the funny thing with it because Randy Savage wins the title in that, and it ends with Hulk Hogan sort of making a stink about it. I went under the rope. I didn't go. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, this all feels like I've experienced something similar to this before. And it reminds me of WrestleMania 4 when Randy Savage won the title. Who's in there celebrating with Randy Savage with the title? Hulk Hogan's in there.
Hogan is.
Randy Savage.
Yeah, raising the hand, hitting with the chair.
Then it made me think about it even more. And there hasn't been a single one of Randy Savage's world title wins that didn't involve Hulk Hogan in some way, shape, or form. So you go to WrestleMania 8, where it didn't directly involve Hulk Hogan. But because the Ric Flair stuff and the Hulk Hogan should have been the main event of that and stuff,
it was a co-main event.
Tangentially related to that.
Yeah.
So his first WCW title win was World War III with Hulk Hogan doing the whole hot dog and like I didn't lose. His second world title win, Hulk Hogan gets in the ring and starts celebrating with him. And like his next two world title wins, he lost to Hulk Hogan the very next night. Like within 24 hours, and that is every single
every time
Savage's title wins. So I don't. This is just. I realize this is a side tangent, but
that's fine.
I just realized watching. It's like, God, you know what? I just made me furious at Hulk Hogan all over again. Like, I hope you don't come back now.
I hope you don't come back now.
It made me angry at Hulk Hogan all over again. Like the wounds
have reopened and iodine can't even fix them.
Yeah, no, it just like
that's funny.
Yeah, WrestleMania 8 is about the closest you can get to Hulk Hogan like not interfering in any way, shape, or form, because he didn't lose the title to Hogan like within 24 hours. It's the only reason he got that title was because Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair weren't going to have a match. So yeah, it's just one of those things. Like it's stuck in my brain, and I've been thinking about it since then. I said I'm going to talk about that.
Well, I think that would as kind of a launching off point, that would be a great. It'd be one of the next in your cast. You start
your cast.
Yeah, take a look at either the dubious history of Hogan or some of Macho Man's history, which would be really cool to check out. So, but on that note, we're gonna put a kibosh on this. We're gonna tie the ribbon. We've got a good solid hour in. It's been a heck of a show. We were able to make something out of nothing, so that's always a good thing. We had power. We had power outages, brother. We had kids demanding food at late night hours, brother. We had dogs, brother.
Yeah. It's all just everything was out to get us, but
everything was out, and we turned it around. Gentlemen, thank you. It was good to be back. I'd missed a few weeks, but
I missed it yesterday. But I guess we have to say happy birthday to SideQuest.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yes, that's right.
In fact, we missed it. It was actually a month ago, but I didn't do anything.
You guys missed it too, but
we missed it too. I was on vacation when SideQuesting turned 8 years old, which is bonkers to me. But so we did a little mini podcast celebration yesterday, which. It was live yesterday, but I'm posting it tonight at some point. So.
I have one written thing on SideQuesting, so if you want to read about Sonic the Hedgehog 2, you're more than welcome.
That's right. That was during our Genesis week, right? I think that's awesome.
16-bit week or something.
Yeah, we had the 16-bit week. That's right. I might bring those back. Those are always a lot of fun. So there we go. So who knows? This podcast is getting close to being a year old when you think about it. We're at like 8 or 9 months or something. So. Yeah. That's bizarre, even.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, we really started talking about it around SummerSlam.
Yep. Yep. It was right after the draft, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was right at the brand split.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Very cool. Well, gentlemen, thank you for joining me. Thank you for letting me back into the podcast.
You're lucky. We had a good episode last week. We were worried.
Yeah.
We're break it down, but you pulled it together.
I pulled it together. You can find us at sidequesting.com, at SQW podcast on the Twitters. Definitely go on iTunes, rate and review us. I mean, you're probably, if you're listening to this and not watching it, you already know that, but let people know, because ratings and reviews definitely help get the word out. And I'm spending some time this weekend. I'm going to get some promotion stuff together. So we'll start doing some fun little giveaways and things that will service our fans that have been listening to us. So that'll be a lot of fun. Not that kind of service, but it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, great balls of fire.
Great balls of fire. Oh, Lord. You can find me personally at Dolly Domofsky. John, where can we find you?
At John Kehoe. That's spelled JONKEHOE.
All right. And JJ, where can we find you when you're not being struck by lightning?
At _double_letter J.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you on the next
SQW.
Love it.